This tiny device promises unlimited internet anywhere. No cable, no fiber, no tower. Today we're going to be testing the Starlink Mini here in Nigeria. Let's see if it's actually working. What's up guys, I'm Newgen and this is Next Gen Tech, where we break down the future of technology. Today we're going to be unboxing and testing the Starlink Mini. Let's get into it. So first, we have the box. It's actually well packaged and the box quality is pretty much okay. By touching this box, you actually just know you're holding something premium, like an expensive product. But let's dive into it. Tearing it apart is really easy, nothing too difficult, just easy, cardboard type of strap, tear away that you can easily take out of it. Looking into the box, let's see what's inside. First, you're welcomed by the instructions, step-by-step procedure of how to set this up, which is pretty much straightforward for anyone. The mesh itself, well, it's very much compact than the standard version. Honestly, this is really small and I kind of like the design. It's easy to move around and compact to set up anywhere. Diving more into the box, we can see the instruction here, which nobody really reads these days. I'll put it aside. This is the mount. You could put it on the roof, literally mount it on a pole or, anywhere, even a tripod. This is a system-wide adapter that comes in it. This is an AC to DC adapter. You can plug it on your socket and it powers the whole device. And this is the cable itself. This is about 5 meters long, pretty much enough for everyone. That's how it comes in the box itself. Looking onto the table here, we have the mesh. This is really compact, to be honest, and it smells really new. And it has a water seal for the Ethernet port because he has two different ports, as you can see. The Ethernet port right here, the power port right there. And this is the cover for it, water sealing and protection from water. And the cable itself, there's something interesting about this cable. In case you're planning to buy, a USB-C third-party one, you need to get one that is water sealed, just like, let me show you. Just like this one right here. If you look at the tip of it, it has this water sealing that goes into the adapter. It's right there, because it just seals it. There is no water going in there. And if you look at the other hand, make sure if you're getting an Ethernet cable, it looks just like that, water sealing Ethernet cable. But yeah, that's all. That's how you plug it in. You can see it's really easy. And this instruction, honestly, we'll read this these days. This looks bigger than my father's land. No matter where we put it aside, it's just too big. That's everything in the box right there. Let's get more into it. After mounting your dish, probably putting it on the roof of your car for a temporary setup, or if you're planning to put it on the roof, I'm going to make a short video about the all putting on the roof. But currently, I have my setup on a tripod. I kind of like worked it to work with a normal ring light tripod that I don't make use of anymore. The best advice I'll give to you, if you're planning to use this stationary at home, you're not planning to remove it or move it around a lot, just put it like on your roof, make a pole, or just tell a local welder guy to like make a pole for you. This is the app right here. As you can see, after setting mine up temporarily I'll put a video right here of what the setup looks like. Then you go straight into your app. This is not what it will show you if this is your first time of setting this up. It is going to ask you to log in and connect the device to it. For me, I've already logged in. My name is right here and my profile and then my device. When you click on your device, it takes you to the page. Right here is where you see your dish. It tells you the status, it's online. It tells you the ping success and the latency. My current setup right now has structure, which might block your performance if you're gaming sometimes, but it works perfectly fine for me. When you're done setting it up, putting it right, and stand next to it, by the way, it's going to ask you, where do you want to install your Starlink? Your roof, balcony, yard, or on the go. But for me, it's just my yard, it's outdoor. Then it's going to prompt you to use the camera on your phone. All you need to do is just find an open area and point to the sky. As you can see what I am doing here, point to the sky, literally everything you need to do. Make it thirsty steer, and when you're done, you just click next. Then it's going to tell you, mine is bad. Well, I'm making this for the sake of the video, but remember, if you want to do this actually, you need to have a clear view of the sky. For me, temporarily, I'm going to put it here. This is how you align it. If it's not aligned properly, pointing where the satellites are optimal, it's going to cut off a lot. Look, it's going to prompt me then. I am currently tilting it and it gets in place and it highlights. It tells you it's in place. It's perfect the way it is. So my obstruction right now is quite minimal and yeah, it's pretty much good. But let's run some speed tests with my current setup right now, what it's going to give me. Also, the device itself is rated for 200 to 300 megabyte per second and 30 to 20 megabyte per second. From my phone to the router is about 182, This is not internet connection, by the way. This is just like the native connection from your phone to the dish itself. My upload speed to it is pretty good. It's pretty much solid, as you can see here. This is a speed test from the app. My phone connecting to the internet. It's pretty decent, probably because of my setup. I don't have a clear view of the sky, by the way, which I would remind you again, you really need to do. Have a really clear view of the sky for your best performance. If you're also gaming, that's why you can put it on your roof. That's pretty decent. This is the statistics. It's going to show you your ping. My ping success has been 99.6, which is pretty good. Even with my obstruction, like this works really well. Then it will show you your power draw. This area where you check your connected devices. I currently have 4 devices connected. Here is where you create different ones for guests or maybe for your neighbors when there's like general downtime for everybody and you just want to help people, be generous enough to turn on your internet for them so that they don't tap into your private networks and stuff like that. So you can create a different Wi-Fi here. You put the name and every other thing. To be honest, this app is really, really good. As you can see, the Starlink app makes it really easy to set up, which is like very much straightforward. Just put it outside, point it to the sky. You can see how I have mine mounted. For mine, I'm temporarily putting it here. And this is the best advantage for this Starlink Mini. I can take it anywhere. If I'm traveling to my parents or I'm traveling somewhere, I know that the connection is really, really bad. I take this along with me. Currently in some parts of Lagos, you probably can't get Starlink right now because their service is sold out. But I think there's a workaround it where people can get business plans and priority plans. Here in Lagos, you probably have access to fiber network, MTN Fiber X, which serve people a lot well. I really don't think you should get Starlink, the standard or the mini right now with the prices going really high for the subscription, the priority subscription and stuff. So maybe just stick with the MTN Fiber X for the meantime. But if you live in places like Ibadan, Osun State, Kaduna, places like that. Right now in Oyo State, not everywhere in Oyo State has Fiber X network. I know some places in Ibadan has this Fiber X network currently. The state I live in right now doesn't have Fiber X. My best option right now is satellite based network, which Starlink comes in. And to be honest, this is really, really good. It is truly unlimited. I've tested this a lot multiple times. As you can see in my previous short videos, if you've been following for a while, I did a speed test comparison, which I'll leave in the description below. If you want to watch that or interested in that. In the past 3 weeks, I've been able to use about 490 gigabytes. I'm going to put a picture of it right here. If you are going to spend the same amount of money on MTN, you know how much you'll be spending on MTN for 490 gigabytes, less than a month. You probably buy about 200 gigabytes 3 times a month if you are a heavy user, but if you're not, that leaves me with a question. Who is Starlink really for? To answer that question, it is for people who work from home. You're a heavy data user, you're a gamer, you're a streamer, you're someone who is in a remote area who doesn't have good network. Because we know when MTN network starts, it will get frustrating. Even Airtel network, when they start, every other connection network in Nigeria are really, really bad. Their advertised 5G network is bad at times. If you're lucky enough to live in good places, because I live in a good place with good MTN 5G network, it is good, but the data consumption is just too much. And it's way too expensive to run. The amount I used to spend on MTN in just 3 months is more than enough to buy Starlink standard. Not the mini, by the way, standard. So that should give you an idea of how much money I spend. The latency on the Starlink Mini is very, very much enough and solid enough for streaming, video calls, meeting, because I have work meetings a lot. And I use my internet a lot. I play video games for my own personal entertainment. I update my games a lot. Just puts an idea of it of how much more data I'll be using a month. I'm pretty sure I should be getting close to a terabyte a month for 57k. That is pretty much solid. If you want to buy 200 gigabytes on MTN, which is rated to last for a month, you're going to be buying that data plan like 3 times, and it's about 37,000 on MTN now. I'm going to put the current price here on my screen. So if you put that in, 57k, 37k 2 times a month, and unlimited data, you can go up to 2 terabytes if you are like that, if you're data hungry. But for me, this works pretty much fine. But should you really buy Starlink? My answer is yes, if you're an heavy data user. If you're just a regular person who uses data moderately, and if MTN Fiber X or Fiber X network are available in your area, probably not. Because you can pay very much less for unlimited data. Even if the speed is being capped, you can still use that probably for gaming and some light work. But if you're an heavy user, uploading 8 gigabytes of videos to the internet, editing, doing work online and stuff like that, definitely go for it. With the way Nigerian local networks are, honestly, my strong financial advice for you, if you're a creative or someone who works from home, or is a heavy data user, is starting. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the next intake, well, do well to subscribe because we're just getting started. Thank you.